Good morning, and welcome to our Monday morning meditation. Oh my goodness, it is a good day. It is a good day. I was reading this article this weekend, and it was on how we talk to ourselves and the neuroscience around that. I won't go into all of it, but two of the concepts, I actually wrote them down here. Two of the concepts that came from that stood out for me were that what neuroscience studies have found is that language matters, of course, and how we talk to ourselves makes a difference to our neurobiology, to our brains, um, to how our brains are responding to things, to our mood, and so forth. And that may make sense just fine. And the way they described what I'm talking about is that the brain under threat shrinks while the brain under encouragement expands. And this has been replicated so many times. I remember, oh my gosh, 30 years ago, there was a study in this greenhouse of sorts where one half of the plants were just given their water and light that we know plants need to grow. And the other half of the plants were given that water and light, but also the people tending to them would talk with them and say, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. Look at how you're growing and so forth. And just give that encouragement to the plants. And after, I don't remember how long, the plants that received those positive words actually grew at a faster rate and were healthier overall than the plants that just got the water and the sun. So, if that's true for plants, that's true for ourselves. You probably have heard that um, water, if you looked at the water studies, I don't know how scientifically accurate all of this is, but it's out there, right? It's out there. It's something to think about where, saying positive words to water turns the water crystals into a certain shape versus negativity turns them into a different shape. And we want to drink the things with the positive energy. That was kind of a thing for a while. Um, you know, we can notice it within ourselves when, I always use the song Happy Birthday. When somebody hears Happy Birthday to you, it might be annoying in a restaurant, but your body responds to that positivity that song generally encapsulates when we hear it. Um, and so we sing, oh, happy birthday, and we feel this celebratory feeling and so forth. When we hear a heavy metal song or a really negative rap song, unless you're into those things, that might have a different effect on your mind-body system, on your mood, and so forth. So why wouldn't the thoughts that we have going on, how we talk to ourselves, how we look at ourselves, how we're evaluating ourselves throughout our day, make a difference to our brain shrinking or our brain expanding. Um, and, even simple things like, um, we're talking to ourselves all the time in our heads anyway, right? So we want to be aware of what's going on inside of our minds. How are we seeing ourselves? How are we talking to ourselves? And it's important to consider, you know, looking at our day and looking at the positive things and not just, yeah, but I'm sitting here with this one feeling about that one thing that happened today or didn't happen today. And now my whole self is feeling down because of that one thing versus let's focus on, hey, here are the ways I made progress today. Here are the things that I did that were really good. Here are the things I stayed out of. I stayed out of that family drama or I stayed out of that neighborhood drama or whatever. And, good for me. I feel stronger because of that. And all of that is cumulative. It's cumulative. So, how we're talking to ourselves, how we are, again, evaluating what's going on in the mind, how we're evaluating um, ourselves, how do you talk to yourself? How do you see yourself? Can you praise yourself easily, or is it hard to praise yourself? If it's hard to praise yourself, work on that and just practice letting yourself be okay, practice letting yourself succeed, practice being okay just as you are, even if it's not this way or that way, even if it's not um, even if you don't come up to some kind of measuring stick that you have for yourself, it's okay. It's okay because we're here. We are all doing what we are supposed to be doing day by day, even if we're telling ourselves we're not. We have to shift that story and say, hey, I may not be up here where I think I should be, but I'm here, and here is perfect. I'm here, and from here I can keep going. From here I can keep moving forward. And our meditation time is our time to really be aware of how we are talking to ourselves inside. And even if we're generally positive, our meditation is going to help us see those places where we're not thinking positively about ourselves. Of course, we've talked about other situations, right? But about ourselves too. And those negative thoughts that come up are going to just kind of ping us in our meditation time. And we can just say, okay, well, let me recenter myself with a positive regard for myself. And so it's not just a positive thought. Positive thoughts are good, but positive regard is how we are holding ourselves overall. And we want to be in that space. That's our center. That's our grounding. That's our, um, not only is the world a wonderful, well, relatively speaking, and safe place, but our insides are safe also. And going back to what that article said, I'm going to pull it up here. The brain under threat shrinks. So if we are threatening ourselves by thinking about ourselves negatively or criticizing ourselves for something that we did not in the way, we made a mistake or we hurt somebody's feelings accidentally or we got mad and we did it on purpose or whatever, just the way we judge ourselves for that makes our brains shrink because that's a threat. We're beating ourselves up for making that mistake and we kind of shrink up. Instead, we can say, okay, well, maybe I did that. Maybe I did that thing wrong. Maybe I hurt that person's feelings intentionally or unintentionally. Well, it's safe to fix it. It's safe to fix it. I can fix my mistake. I can fix my losing my temper. I can fix this. And it may take some time. It may cause a lot of other feelings of, oh gosh, now I'm embarrassed. Now I feel ashamed. But that's all part of the human process. It's all part of learning and growing. And instead of shrinking and staying in a corner, we can bring ourselves out. We can bring ourselves out and say, okay, how do I fix this? Let me journal about what I can do instead, what I can say instead, how I can make up for this, how I can forgive myself. There's a lot of work there, but it's so much better because even working through a mistake is expanding our brain because that activity is telling us, I can do this. I can do this. I can expand. I'm okay. I don't have to shrink up and just stay here. I can expand, expand, expand. So back to our meditation time. Our meditation time is that place where we get to sort through those thoughts and say, no, I am not going to look at myself in a way that shrinks myself anymore. I'm going to focus on expanding. And where I'm feeling like I'm shrinking, I'm going to support myself in expanding. And so that's what we do. And our meditation time is helping us look at those thoughts, be aware of those thoughts. So for our meditation time today, we're just going to have that in the ethers as we're working on just turning within and being in our center. And, what does positive regard for yourself feel like to you? What does that feel like? Just notice that in your body. We're going to do that first. Just what does that feel like to have positive regard for yourself? And if your response is, oh my gosh, I can never do that, or I don't know how to do that, then this is a good time to begin. So, wherever you're at in this process of being kind to yourself is a great place to start and go from there. So, positive regard. It doesn't mean that we're perfect. It doesn't mean that we are where we want to be. It doesn't mean that we've done everything perfectly in the past or that we'll do it perfectly every time in the future. But we are whole and because we are human beings and human beings are always in process, we are perfectly in process right where we are. And just take a couple of deep breaths to help your mind body system relax and just melt into your chair. I'm just going to breathe in that positive regard. We're going to breathe in self-compassion, self-compassion, gentleness, love. And everybody's going to be at a different place with that, but we're just going to expand. We're going to expand wherever you are. Even if you have lots of positive regard, we're going to keep expanding that. If it's hard to feel that, we're going to just give it permission to let go and expand, expand, expand. Just feel your breath coming through with your belly as the pull to breathe in, and let that belly relax as you breathe out. That belly breath is our expansion breath. It's our breath that balances that oxygen level in the body. And just notice the difference as you just breathe in that self-compassion, that gentleness, love, love for your whole self. Just feel it all through you from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. And there's no yeah buts here. There's no yeah, but I'm not all that great, or I'm I've done bad things, or I'm not where I want to be, or whatever. That none of that matters. It just doesn't matter. The moment we've learned from whatever we've gone through, then it's done. It's over. We don't need to carry it around with us anymore. We breathe in love and even gratitude for all the things that we've learned in our lifetime. And then there's those future yeah buts. Yeah, but I haven't done this, or I still have to do that, or I really want to get better at this, or I want to accomplish that. Doesn't matter. As we come from this place of love, compassion for ourselves, this positive self regard, we can expand into better and better versions of ourselves as we move forward. But it starts right here, right now. Loving ourselves, having compassion, having patience. Just be present with your breath, patient and present. And being able to hold ourselves in this self love, self compassion, this positive self regard is a cumulative practice. Every time we do it, it becomes stronger, more expansive within ourselves. And if you have time today to stay with this self love, holding yourself in love and compassion and positivity, I invite you to do so. If you need to go about your day, just take a couple of deep breaths and feel your body in the chair, your feet on the floor. And we're going to take this expansion with us into our day and protect it from negative thoughts about ourselves, from negative judgments and overcorrection. We're going to be gentle about our mistakes and encouraging about our learning and our successes. And I invite you to spend time with this particular practice every day or incorporate it somehow into your regular meditation time each day. You can come back and listen to this recording anytime. Let it guide you, let it support you in building this love for yourself, this love for who you are and how you're growing. And I thank you for being on this expanding journey with me. I'm so glad to have our time together each week, and I will be practicing this as well with you. We can always expand no matter where we are starting from. So expand, enjoy, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.